I'm asking you to please keep this walkway clear. Thank you. Thank you. Could please have your seats. Please help me to welcome this afternoon the Honorable Minister of Housing and Water, Ms. Susan Rodriguez.
Good afternoon. Please allow me to acknowledge His Excellency, my cabinet colleagues, regional chairman, vice chairman, REO, all the regional officials, heads of agencies, and of course the residents of Rose Hall and all of the surrounding communities. I'm pleased to see so many of you here on this Saturday afternoon. It has been a remarkable 4.5 years to serve you in office. It's been the honor of my life to serve under the leadership of His Excellency President Ali as we deliver the transformational agenda as set out by the People's Progressive Party Civic when we came to you in 2020. I want to thank you for your support over the years, and we have returned our support for you through the implementation of our programs and policies over this period. We appreciate the trust and the confidence that you have put in us, and we have honored your trust and confidence, and we have honored all of the commitments that we made to the people of this country. There are a group of people in Guyana who live on social media and who feel that any lagu-bagu could turn president overnight. It's a different thing when shortly you will hear from His Excellency not only about our accomplishments, but you will hear from him about the transformation that is still to come. Because there is a lot of work to still get done, and there's a lot of progress that we still have to achieve. So you will not only hear what we have done, because I know many of you know what is being done and what has taken place, because it's visible. Every single community across this country has been transformed, and it has been done in the most inclusive way that we have ever seen, involving everybody. All hands on deck, all our men, all our women, all our children, people with disability, all of the Hindus, all of the Muslims, all of the Christians, all of the Indo-Guyanese, Afro-Guyanese, mixed people like me and Bishop Ejil. It's all of us are involved in transforming our country, and it's there for all to see. It's undeniable progress. Let us look, for example, what has taken place in the housing sector. We promised to deliver 50,000 house lots in our first term, and that seemed like a tall order. We have already allocated 43,000 Guyanese their house lots, and we will surpass 50,000. 18,000 of which went to women only. So I spoke just now about including everybody, and our women are especially included. 18,000, over 18,000 women only have acquired their house lots, transforming their lives forever, transforming their future forever. And that is the power of home ownership. That is the power and the impact of the housing sector. And Region 6 is no exception. We have already distributed 2,200 house lots in Region 6. And on the 25th and on the 26th of April this month, we will be back in Region 6 to deliver 1,600 house lots to those pending applicants who are waiting. So we will be returning, the Ministry of Housing will be coming very shortly to Region 6 to continue our allocations. In the water sector, we are building a new water treatment plant at Adventure. Construction has started on that new treatment plant already, and we have rehabilitated and expanded the Port Morant water treatment plant, the New Amsterdam water treatment plant, and we have built 6 smaller treatment plants throughout the region as well, which will help us to deliver treated water to almost 100% of the people who live on the coast here in Region 6. So the program has been massive in the housing sector, in the water sector, in all of the sectors, and transformational at the same time. But if you think that you've seen transformation, I assure you, you have no idea what else we have in store for you. And all of those people from the APNU and the AFC and the PNC and all of their surrogates who are coming to you, not even in their wildest dreams can they imagine a plan that will be explained to you as conceived by President Ali. So our future is at stake. This is serious business. You have to think about your future, the future of your children, of your community, of your country. It's serious business. It's not a gimmick. And so therefore you have to look around you and see the progress that has taken place and continue to put your trust in the party that you know that you can always have confidence in, and the party that have always stood with you in the good times, in the bad times, in government, out of government. We continue to work for the advancement of every single man, woman, and child in this country. Thank you very much. We love you. And I will pass the microphone to my colleague, Bishop Edghill, for his remarks.
Thank you very much, Minister Rodriguez, President Ali, my other cabinet colleagues. When I turned and started coming into Kanji for this visit with the President, I had a happy feeling. And I hope all of you are happy too. Because during 2015 to 2020, whenever I turn in to come to Kanji, was to walk with you in protest for the closure of the Shawe estate. Walking the line 6 o'clock in the morning and so on. But isn't it a good thing for us to start that the joy, hope, and happiness have returned to this community because of the actions taken by President Ali and the PPPC government in reopening the Rosal estate? I know we have the Minister of Agriculture, and I leave him to talk about that, but let me just say 3 things that I believe is very important. And numbers is something that don't lie once they add it up correct. And we don't have problems in the PPPC with numbers. We know numbers. We know how to come with numbers. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I am happy to report to the President, to you, and to the entire nation that since October 2020, when the first budget was read, to now, we have executed in Region 6 2,365 contracts under the Ministry of Public Works. And many of you in this area would be able to talk and testify that the roads that was literal mud has now been transformed. But this project represents a number in terms of the length of roads that we would have executed. 395,576 meters of road work has been done in Region 6. You know what is translating to? That's more than 375 kilometers of road. Berbice is vast. And when we came to office, one of the first things that we did was literally take people out of the mud dams, the mud streets in the grants at Crabwood Creek. The streets here, we fixed it. And I'm sure the complaint will not be, it will be Thanksgiving this afternoon for the roads and the infrastructural development and improvement that has come to this community. I think we need to give ourselves a good round of applause because some of you participated in those projects. And that represents, only in the public works sector, an allocation of about $46 billion in terms of infrastructural development that was done in Region 6. And you had your fair share in Kanji and in Rose Hall. So this afternoon when we come to you on our record. Quite recently, His Excellency had all of us do an exercise that was very beneficial to me as the minister. We had to examine what we promised and what we delivered. And then we had to examine what we did beyond what we promised. When I was making that submission to him and the Minister of Finance, I was pleasantly surprised that the list of what we did beyond what we promised is longer than the list of what we did in keeping with what we promised. You know what that means? We have exceeded expectations. We have done more than we promised, and by far some very important and significant things. We participated in something that was an initiative of the president, and this had to do with our sea and river defenses. Because people in this community and other areas, Port Moran and so on, they used to break the seawall to get the water to do the brackish water shrimp. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? But in conjunction with the Ministry of Agriculture, you didn't have to break the seawall anymore. We understood that this was a thriving industry, and we facilitated access of the seawater to come in a safe way so that brackish water shrimp and brackish water farming could have exceeded and gone way above what it used to be. And that is as a result of policy direction that was given by His Excellency, the President. The third thing that I want to report to you, that under the Ministry of Public Works, in executing the vision of Her Excellency, the First Lady, we have not only brought hard infrastructural development to Berbice, but we have improved the aesthetics, the tourism potential, and created family-oriented spaces that recreation, tourism, family engagement in Berbice is now significantly improved. And right now, at number 63 Beach, we're executing works to improve that area, totaling $175 million, major upgrades at number 63 Beach. Monday, many of you will be heading out there, and you'll be able to see what is going on. So whether it's in the area of sea defenses, roads, community development and improvement of recreational spaces, we have done it. And I know now that you have your village streets and your inner streets, the big issue is the main road. And I'm pleased to report to you that contracts have already been signed for 3 lots for us to build out the road 4 lanes from Palmyra all the way out to Molson Creek. We currently have contractors who are building out the structures. There are 99 structures, bridges, and culverts to expand the road and to get that done. And one of the things that we did beyond what we promised is that we have already are at the stage of evaluation and awarding the contractor for the execution of the new 4-lane high-span bridge across the Berbice River, of which President Ali has already indicated from 1st of August, the toll on the Berbice Bridge is free, and there will be no toll on the new one that is being built. Area, going to New Amsterdam, Kanji, in what we might want to describe as the Palmyra development, is what we are seeking to do. Berbice will become the next booming economic growth pool in Guyana because of the vision and investments that are being made by President Ali and the PPPC government. So now is the time to get excited, not to sit down and look on. Now it's time to get excited. Because the time is coming when you'll be able to catch a plane here at Rose Hall, and you'll probably be able to fly to Paramaribo from here. You'll be able to fly to Brazil from here because we are making this into a municipal airport, and you'll be able to fly to Tamiri to get the big jet to go up New York and at the other side and so on. So the vision is great. And the final thing that I want to say before I turn over to my honorable friend, Zulfikar Mustafa is, all the things that have been done were not done by chance or accident. It was hard work. It was leadership that was provided, and a lot of times sacrificial leadership, putting aside other things that people could have been doing to deliver. And that kind of a leadership and that kind of a delivery requires that every person sitting here and every person listening to us, that we silence the fandangling and the fancy footworks we were seeing in this season, and to focus on what is good for Guyana. The PPPC might not be perfect, but we are good for Guyana. And President Ali is good for Guyana. And as a matter of fact, you know, some people like to criticize the one thing that didn't go right, but they don't ever emphasize all the 1,001 things. And we have to help in that process. And one of the ways that we could help in the process, you got a broadcasting agency in your hand, call your cell phone. Take out the picture and put it up. This is how Rosal used to look. This is how it's looking now, thanks to the PPPC. The people are happy. The people are better. Are you following me? But you know what most of us have been satisfied to do? Read the negative. We know them good, you know, we just listen and read. Like if that is what we should be doing. We're going to deal with that because you know, everyone know, Guyana is much better than when we took it over in 2020. It has been massive. It has been strategic. It has been transformational. Some of us don't even believe that these things are happening before our very eyes. We are at a time when we got to say one good term deserves another. We're at a time when we should be able to say, we know what we got. We got a party that when they make promises, they just fulfill their promise. And they just even do more than they promise. So later on in the year, you ain't got no issue. You just need to ensure that President Ali and the PPPC remains in office so that the next wave of development for Berbice could come to you and you not be punished and spiked by experimenting with people who promise you things, but they have their own interests at heart. The PPPC is good for Guyana. President Ali is the man for the job. Let's get it done. Let's keep it moving. Let's work together and let us stand up for what is right and let us be the vocal majority. I say let us be what? The vocal. You just hear the silent minority. Few people making the most noise, but we are turning it around. Let's make some noise. Let's put our report card out there and let us be the vocal majority. God bless you and thank you very much. I'll now turn it over to my colleague and friend, Minister Zulfikar Mustafa.
Thank you very much, Minister Edghill, President Ali, Cabinet colleagues, residents of Rosal Kanji. Good afternoon. Let me hear you. Good afternoon. Well, just now the President was asking me and Dr. Singh let me give him one of the major issues in Rosal Kanji. I was looking, we were thinking about an issue to give him. Unlike when President Ali came here as presidential candidate of the People's Progressive Party, there were many issues. Today, just under 4.5 years, almost all the issues in East Kanji, around Kanji, in Rosal, have been addressed. And you now today, the residents of Rosal Kanji, are enjoying the benefit of the People's Progressive Party civic government. I can remember I came here with the President when he was our presidential candidate. We went to John Saw Gap, where a number of workers were there who were dismissed after the closure of the Rosal estate. We went and the workers highlighted their issues. The President said, in no uncertain term, that when we get back into government, we will reopen the sugar estate at Rose Hall here, Kanchi. When the former government wanted to close this estate and the other estates, Wales, Enmore, and Skeldon, from our side, we were in the opposition. The president went to the meeting and asked them to do an economic impact study. What will happen to the poor people who are working in the estate? They said no. And they went and closed the estate. And you know what happened afterwards. The entire Kanji, the entire surrounding area were ghost towns. People had to take out their children from school because they didn't have funds to send their children to school. Basic things, water, electricity, telephone, people were unable to pay the bills. You all remember those days, right? You all remember it? Let me hear you. And today, your life has been transformed. Even those comrades, those workers who were dismissed or who were placed on the breadline, they didn't receive their severance pay on time. We had to raise that issue. We had to take that matter to the court to ensure that the APNU AFC pay the workers the severance pay that they deserve. That was the time in our country's history. And today, you are seeing all kinds of people coming back again to make these promises. You all remember, just before the 2015 elections, you had two gentlemen in the television and DTV every Saturday night used to come and say how the sugar workers will receive 20% of their salary. You all remember that? From 2015 to 2020, 4 sugar estates were closed. 7,500 sugar workers were placed on the breadlines. Right here in Kanji, there were no economic opportunities. People had to leave their families and go overseas and go to different parts of the country to find employment. We must remember these things because sometimes our memory are short and we tend to forget what took place. And people coming back again with the same kind of promises. They said they're going to give rice farmers $9,000 a bag. When the rice farmers were in crisis, rice price went down to $2,100 a bag in 2019. $2,100 a bag. The president at that time said rice is a private business. They got nothing to do with rice. The president will tell you just now what this government has been doing to rice farmers and the agriculture sector in this country. We have transformed the agriculture sector, transformed the entire sector, all the workers in the sector, all the beneficiaries in this sector, and today Guyana is once again moving forward. Guyana is once again moving in the right direction. Guyana is once again leading, not only here but in the Caribbean, where we are now considered the main agriculture country in the Caribbean, thanks to the leadership of His Excellency the President. When I became Minister of Agriculture, CARICOM wanted to craft a food strategy because of the COVID-19. I thought Guyana always lead in those areas, but they said no, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because we have lost that place. The former government lost that place to St. Vincent, and they were leading that strategy. And I am today happy to inform you that the first heads of government meeting that our president attended, he rescued back that position. I was there with him in Belize, and today he is the leading light in the Caribbean in terms of food production and agriculture strategy. So we have a young, vibrant president who is not leading from the front only in Guyana, but in the Caribbean. Only the other day, only a few days back, the entire CARICOM gave him another responsibility in terms of cricket development in West Indies. He is now leading that sector too, because they see the importance and the influence of our president in the region. So today, I am very happy to say that we are back in Kanji. We are here today after 4.5 years in government. And if you look at that 4.5 years, you have to take out 2 years because we had the COVID pandemic. You all remember that? So we literally only 2.5 years development, and we have seen all the issues, all the problems that you were facing in Kanji. We have now resolved those problems, and we are now bringing more benefit to the people in Region 6, in our country, and in Kanji here. That is testimony to good governance. When we got into government also, we recognized that those sugar workers who were dismissed didn't have any opportunities to earn. And you all remember, those sugar workers who are here can remember that the first thing we did, we gave a cash grant to those workers who were severed, $250,000 to every sugar workers who were dismissed from the Rosal estate. The last year, I want to tell you now how callous those persons were. The last year, when this estate, Rosal, operated, just before the closure, they produced a total of 21,000 tons of sugar. 21,000 tons of sugar because of the work that we did before we come out of government. Before we came out of government, the work that we did, 21,000 tons. Now, because of what they did to the industry, we have to spend a lot of money to do rehabilitation because they have neglected the industry. Rosal, we expended over $10 billion to bring back Rosal to this state here. And we have to ensure that we do more work. The entire cultivation was left, and there was forest in the entire cultivation. The factory was left to rot. The entire dock, you all could know that. And today, we are seeing once again, Rosal is taking its rightful place. Only a few weeks back, Rosal Estate would have gained another day's pay because they have met their target. And we are working, we are ensuring that sugar, this government, under the leadership of President Ali, will ensure that sugar never fail in our country. And we will continue to support sugar and the sugar workers, with like all other sectors in this country. All the other sectors, bauxite workers, the DNI workers, the rice farmers, the sugar workers, you name it. We will continue to support all the workers. So today, I am very happy to be here, to see so many of you here today, that today Kanji is once again very vibrant. We have seen new economic opportunities. As a matter of fact, Gaisuko now they have told me that they need more workers because with the number of economic opportunities that we have brought to these communities, people now have a choice. People are doing different things. And some of those workers who are working at the estate also, they are working a few days and are doing other things, other activities. We have brought Gaisuko, you know for a fact, the activities was cut and load. We have now stopped the load. Workers are now cutting canes. They are only cutting the canes because we are doing it mechanically. And what we are doing, we are also trying to mechanize the entire field. And we are working also to form a partnership with workers so that they will help to manage the affairs of the estate. They will involve in harvesting the cane, and they will be also be like contractors that we are giving out. They will be the contractors. So the opportunities will be more in these parts of the country. In the communities, you heard Minister Bishop and Susan talk about the housing and the public works sector. The president instructed a number of issues in the communities, drainage, garbage, those things. The president instructed that we provide a small mini excavator for all the Neighborhood Democratic Council and the municipality. And every single 22 bodies in Region 6, now they are beneficiary of the small mini excavators. We are seeing NDCs now are getting fire trucks so that they can also be the first line of defense in fires in the communities. We are seeing garbage machinery and garbage trucks being provided to the NDCs. Those are the enhancements that we are doing. In terms of the primary canals, the large canals, the NDIA have a program that we are working with to ensure we desilt all the canals, the major canals. As I'm speaking now, over $22 billion has been expended in Region 6 to do massive DNI structure. As I'm speaking, we are now building 2 Hope-like canals, high-level canals, that will be draining directly to the Atlantic. In the dry weather, it will act as a reservoir for farmers. In the rainy weather, it will drain directly to the Atlantic, and it's a high-level canal that will drain 24 hours. So we'll have a better drainage system in Region 6. We have already built embankment from number 66 right onto Vinchab right here in Kanji, so that we can keep away the water from the backland to come and put stress on the drainage system in the community. As I'm speaking now, $6 billion, $6 billion will be expended to do those works. The works have already started. In relation to other areas, we are doing new pump stations. We are rehabilitating sluices so that we can have maximum and drainage and mitigate flooding. You know for a fact that a number of farmers, number of livestock farmers, cash crop farmers, rice farmers suffer when we have severe and heavy rainfall. So we are working very hard to ensure that we mitigate flooding. And whilst we are doing that, thousands of acres of new land will be opened up, and you will have an opportunity to be beneficiary of those lands so you can get involved in agriculture. Agriculture is one of the most important activities. Without agriculture, we cannot have food security. And we have a president who is very passionate about this sector. We have seen massive investment in the agriculture sector. The budgetary allocation has moved from $13 billion in 2020 to $105 billion this year. That tells you a story that our government have an interest, have a vision, that we have a president who have your interests at heart, and we will continue to work for you. So this afternoon, I'm happy that we are here. I am happy that we are having so many persons here this afternoon. I am happy that the PPP Civic, we are creating opportunities for you, for your children, and for the entire community. So as Bishop rightly said, there is only one party in this country that can have your interests at heart. One party that when we make promises, we always deliver on those promises. We went to the electorate in 2020, and we made a number of commitments. And you go back now, anyone, you go back online and check on our manifesto. We have delivered on all the promises, all the commitments we have made to the people of this country. So we will continue to work with you. We will continue to bring development to you. We will continue to bring opportunities to you. Continue to support this party under the leadership of President Irfaan Ali. Let us continue to rally around this party. Let us ensure that President Ali have another term so that we can continue with the development of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to hand you over to my other colleague here, Minister Ashley Singh, to make his remark.
Thank you very much, Comrade Zulfi, Your Excellency, President Ali, my cabinet colleagues, regional chairman, regional officials, but most of all, my dear brothers and sisters, comrades and friends. Let me ask you to join me, because many of you see me here very often. Let me ask you to join me in extending a very special welcome to His Excellency, the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali. Let me also thank all of you for braving the weather. I see we're still fighting a little bit of a drizzle. We appreciate that you have come out in such large numbers, notwithstanding that it's a little bit rainy today. But you've come out today to show your love and affection and your support for President Ali and the People's Progressive Party. So thank you very much for doing so. You know, I want to be very frank with you. As you know, 2025 is an election year. And perhaps because it is an election year, you are seeing all sorts of characters floating around, some of whom you have never seen before. You know, some people say during mango season, plenty board a circle. And I'm sure even if you never heard that saying, you know that when ripe mango there tree, plenty board a circle. You know that. Parrot a circle when ripe mango there tree. So you're going to see all sorts of characters floating around, most of whom you have never seen before. But what makes the People's Progressive Party and President Ali different is that our party and our president have always stood on the side of the Guyanese people. In government and in opposition, election year or no election year. In fact, as I was listening to my colleagues speak before me, and in particular, several of my colleagues spoke about the closure of the sugar industry, which is a subject, obviously, that is very dear to your heart. It made me remember a particular incident. Prior to 2015, you would remember that during the period from 2011 to 2015, although we were in government, APNU AFC had a one-seat majority. And I always remember an incident when President Ali, at the time, was Minister of Housing, and I was at the time Finance Minister. We took to Parliament a financial paper. President Ali, Minister, as he was then known, then Housing Minister Ali, Irfaan Ali, requested a supplementary appropriation, requested some supplementary money from the budget. And the purpose of the supplementary that he requested was for the Central Housing and Planning Authority to compensate Gaisuco for some land that we were going to transfer to do housing development. And he said that Gaisuco is an important industry, and he would like the Parliament to approve a financial allocation, $4 billion to be precise, to support CHNPA's acquisition of land for housing development from Gaisuco. And APNU AFC, with their one-seat majority, led at the time by, amongst others, Nagamutu and Ramjatan, went to the Parliament and attacked the PPP, and in particular attacked then Minister Ali for going to the Parliament and seeking $4 billion to compensate Gaisuco. And they said then that this is a mechanism that we wanted to use to put money into Gaisuco. And not only did they object and block that supplementary, but they moved for Minister Ali to be referred to the Privileges Committee, a disciplinary committee of the Parliament, seeking to punish him in the Parliament. And what was his sin? His sin was going to Parliament to ask for Gaisuco to be given money for land that we would be using for housing. And I tell you that story because that pattern never stopped. And the barefacedness of APNU AFC never changed. Although they attacked the then PPP government, and in particular Minister Ali, Housing Minister Ali, now President Ali, for going to Parliament for that $4 billion, and attacked him in particular on the basis that the money was going to go to Gaisuco, when election time come around, near to 2015, suddenly their tune changed, and they were the biggest friends of the sugar industry and the sugar workers. They promised that they would never, there are videos, you don't have to believe me, you can Google it. There are videos of them going on stage, or going on the platform, and promising salary increases for sugar workers and how the sugar industry would never be closed. All sorts of promises. I'm not going to get to the $9,000 bag party. I haven't gotten to that as yet. All sorts of promises they made to sugar workers. And in particular, Nagamutu and Ramjatan, and there's a reason why I'm telling you this story. Nagamutu and Ramjatan, who were sent into PPP areas, believed to be PPP stronghold areas, with the specific objective of trying to undermine PPP support and to confuse people, making all sorts of promises to the sugar workers. And when they came into government, the same people changed their tune again and suddenly now said, we are not putting money into sugar, and they didn't put a cent more. Suddenly decided they were not going to give sugar workers an increase, and they gave them no increase for the whole period they were in government. Suddenly forgot that they had promised that they will never close down the sugar industry. Woke up one day, and as a matter of fact, you know, they like this thing named COI, Commission of Inquiry. They specialize in that. Everything was a COI, or a green paper, or a white paper. They commissioned a commission of inquiry into the sugar industry. Their own commission of inquiry did not recommend closure of the sugar industry. They throw away the report. They throw away the report, although they like commission of inquiry, and they use it as an excuse for doing nothing. When their own commission of inquiry did not recommend closure of the sugar industry, they pitch away the report, and they still went ahead and closed down 4 sugar estates. I am reminded that then David Granger, then President Granger, said that the COI is not gospel. And they expect the people of Guyana to ever believe anything they say ever again. Suddenly now. So they spent 5 years in government, and everything that they promised, they did the opposite. Everything that they promised. They promised to reduce VAT. Instead, they took the whole list of zero-rated items and put VAT on it. VAT on water, VAT on electricity, VAT on food items, VAT on agricultural equipment, VAT on medicine, VAT on education. But they had promised faithfully, when they wanted your votes, they had promised that they will cut VAT. Instead, they did the opposite. They had promised that they will improve the lives of school children. They came into, and of families, they came into government. And one of the first things they did was to take away the cash grant that we were giving to school children, long before we had even found oil. They came into government, they said they claimed they loved the policemen and the soldiers and the discipline services. They came into government, they found that they knew that we were paying a bonus every month to policemen, firemen, prison officers, and soldiers. We were paying a bonus to them every year, a year-end bonus, without a single dollar of oil money. We were finding the money and doing it. They came into government and they took it away. Fast forward now to 2025. Guess what? They are circling again, like they see the ripe mango on the tree. They are circling again with the same old trick. With the same old trick. All sorts of promises. No, if you hear the promise now, they're going to abolish all tax. They got double salary. They got double pension. All, if you hear the promises now, all kind of thing. We don't know how much cash grant they said they're going to pay now. They never pay a cash grant all the years for the bidding government. They take away the cash grant from the children, like I said earlier. Suddenly now, they will promise all kind of thing. If you hear all the thing, they will promise now. They believe that the Guyanese people can be fooled again. But the Guyanese people said to them in 2020, and the Guyanese people will say to them even more loudly in 2025, the Guyanese people will say to APNU AFC, never again. Never again. Because we know that the only party that has stood on the side of the Guyanese people through good times and bad times has been the People's Progressive Party. Look around at the changes that you are seeing in your own community, and I'll tell you, don't get carried away. I know you wouldn't get carried away by those who are suddenly appearing. You never see them before. President Ali's government has been on the ground every day and every week. Every day President Ali is in a different community. Sometimes people want to know if he's in two places at the same time. Either Region 3, and when you blink, either Region 6. And not only the president, all of the president's ministers. Minister Ejil is in Region 10, Region 3, Region 1, Region 9. Minister Mustafa is in every single region in the country, including Region 6. Minister Rodriguez, and all of President Ali's ministers, because that is our party's philosophy. Our party's philosophy is that we have a duty to listen to the people of our country. And we craft our policies based on what the people of our country say to us. And that applies to every aspect of national life, not only the sugar industry that you're concerned about, agriculture, infrastructure. You said to us you wanted your community roads to be upgraded, and we are upgrading those community roads. Many thousands of community roads throughout the length and breadth of the country that were mud dams. Today, they are concrete streets. You said to us you wanted your play fields, your ball fields, and community grounds to be upgraded for your young people to be able to play and do sports. We have invested almost $1 billion already, and by the end of this year, we will invest $1.8 billion in total over 3 years to upgrade the grounds. You said to us you want better quality health care. And President Ali said, I will build a brand new hospital in New Amsterdam. And as a matter of fact, I will build another one at number 75 Village 2. And I want you to think about this for a minute. When the president says he will build a hospital at New Amsterdam, don't only believe that that is about giving you world-class health care. Of course, the main objective is to give you, the people of Region 6, world-class, and Region 5, world-class health care. But I want you to stop for a minute and think something. Every one of those hospitals will need almost 1,000 people working in them. Where do you believe? Each one of those hospitals will need doctors, nurses, lab technicians. And we are training them right here in Berbice. The New Amsterdam Hospital will be a teaching hospital, so you can go to the New Amsterdam Hospital and do your practicals to become a professional doctor. We are building right now in New Amsterdam a brand new nursing school so that the people of Region 6 can train right here and become nurses. The pharmacy program that we're bringing, and all of the medical professionals, nurses, nursing assistants, dentists. So I want you to think the hospital is great, of course, because it will give you world-class health care. But I want you to think, too, about the opportunities that it is creating for your young people. Because all of us, what do we want? We want for the next generation to have a better life than we had. That is what everybody wants. That is what everybody who is a parent or an aunt or an uncle, grandparent, that's what you want. You want your picnic to have a better life than you had. Just think about the opportunities that you can stay here, right here in Region 6. You can become a professional nurse. You can become a professional dentist, professional doctor. We are building right here in Region 6 in Port Morant, the National Oil and Gas Institute at the Guyana Technical Training College next to Gaisuko Training School, which Exxon has said will become the world-class center of excellence for training in offshore deep-sea exploration and oil production. Imagine that the boys and girls of Region 6 can stay right here, one of 10 in the world. One of their 10 facilities like this, there will be 10 facilities like this in the world, and one of them is right here in Region 6 in Port Morant, and your sons and your daughters can attend that training school. And these are only some of the opportunities, and I could go on for a very long time and list all of the opportunities that we're creating for the young people of Region 6 and the young people of Guyana. But I know that you didn't really come to hear from me today. You're going to see me back. You'll see me every weekend. We've been last weekend at Betsy Grong, as some of you would recall, right? I know you didn't come today to hear from me. You came today to hear from the main man. I want to tell you that I consider it a great privilege personally to serve in the cabinet of Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali. And that opportunity has given me the privilege to see firsthand and to participate in firsthand in what will be the most historic and exciting transformation of our country. The face of our country is changing. Go to Palmyra and see what's happening there. You know there is a before and after. You take out a picture before and after. You know why you take out a picture before and after? You know what I mean, right? When you fix up your house and say you take out the picture before you fix up the house. When you're done, you take out another picture after. Sometimes, when them gals dress up, they will take out the picture before and then they take out the picture after. Right? So, I want to tell you something. You just take out this before and after picture. You better take out a picture. Like, all of these communities like Palmyra. You see how Palmyra look now? You better go quick and take out a picture there because it will not look like that in a few years' time. It will be one of the most modern places, not only in the country, but in the entire Caribbean. So you better go take out your before picture now, because soon all you will see is a modern stadium, modern hotels, modern buildings, modern businesses, modern houses. The whole Palmyra will have changed. And that is happening throughout the length and breadth of this region and throughout the length and breadth of our country. But comrades and friends, thank you for coming out. And it is my great privilege to hand you over now, like I said to the main man, the man who is leading this incredibly exciting transformation of Guyana, Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ashley. Please. Comrades, you can have your seats, please. You hearing me at the back? All right, so you would have heard a lot already. I think among the ministers, they would have covered everything. But let me tell you how dynamic the People's Progressive Party is. And this team that we are all part of. And everything the ministers spoke to you about is as a result of the teamwork of the People's Progressive Party Civic. In the cabinet, in the regions, in the ministries, it is this great teamwork. And this accomplishment that we celebrate today is also built on the shoulders of those who were before us. The hard work, the sacrifices, and the selfless commitment of all those leaders who served before us. We stand on their shoulders as we build this new modern Guyana, and particularly Region 6 here today. My friends, the PPP is such a dynamic, living entity that as I sit here and I reflect, I was 17 years old when I started to work here in Region 6 as a regional planner. One of the regions that was assigned to me was Region 6. I would come here. Ashley then also was a technician. He was director of budget. And we'll come here long before the bridge. So we'll wait on the boat. And we'll be in this region for almost 1 week, doing regional planning, looking at the budget priorities. And of course, we had limited resources then. So we used to use one vehicle. So a lot of great friendship were developed. Great friendship that turned into family that would have lasted us and continue to be with us in this lifetime. Then is when I met also, well, not then I met, Zulfi I know in the party. But then I started to work with him as regional chairman. And then Ashton became my minister at the Ministry of Finance. And Zulfi became my executive secretary in the People's Progressive Party. And then I became president, and Ashton and Zulfi are my ministers in the cabinet. That is how the PPP is. That is the family of this PPP. And you are all members of this family. For a matter of fact, we consider every single Guyanese an original member of the PPP. Because remember, when the political movement started, it was the People's Progressive Party that was formed to take us to independence and bring freedom to this country. So when we say that all of Guyana have a stake in the PPP, we mean that. Because fundamentally, the PPP represented all of Guyana, and today, the PPP remains the only national party in our country. And life, I give these examples to tell you that life has a way of re-engineering things. And we just came from New Amsterdam. And all across the country, when we went to Babujan recently, you see the face of the PPP mirroring the face of Guyana. The structure of the PPP mirroring the structure of Guyana. And that is why, that is because the PPP has been the only party that would have stuck to its philosophy, and that is one Guyana, one people, one country, one ambition, and that is the development of our country and all our people. The PPP never for one moment, the PPP never for one moment wavered from its philosophy of a unified Guyana. The PPP never engineered racism to build support or to maintain support. For a matter of fact, the PPP has been that constant pillar fighting racism, fighting hate, and fighting those who try to divide our society. And today, years of hard work, relentless sacrifice and struggles is now showing us that we were and continue to be on the right side of history in every single thing we do. And that is something very important. But today, as I speak to you, and as I would have said in New Amsterdam, in every single community across this country, we can point to specific initiatives that we are going to implement to ease the burden of the population there. But specific initiative that will transform your communities, that will create new jobs, that will open up new opportunities. And if you look at this community, Ashley and Zulfi spoke to you, Suzanne and Bishop Edgell. They all spoke to you about different initiatives in the region that will bring tremendous benefits to the people of this region. Whether it's in nursing, becoming doctors, engineers, and let me say this, there are some specific areas that we have said in the cabinet, training in these areas must be available here in Region 6. Medical science, nursing, pharmacy, engineering, surveying. These were areas that your children never had the opportunity to study in unless you could have afforded to send them to Georgetown and rent a place for them to go to university. We are now going to ensure that these programs will be available within the next 12 months. We're investing in the infrastructure to make them available for you here in Region 6. Because building the human capital, investing in education, creating these opportunities, these are all critical things in the transformation of your lives. We have set minimum standards for all the school grounds, all the community grounds, all the health centers across the country. And now we are implementing a policy through which every single ground must at least have a pavilion, a washroom, a good playing facility, lights, and a hardcore tarmac for all sports disciplines. We have started that, and every ground in this country would experience that. We also have the investment in the school grounds, building a all-purpose tarmac in every school ground so that our children can have access to facility through which they can improve their sporting skills and discipline. And in the health centers, we have now set what are the minimum standards we want in every single health center, including a modern waiting area with proper seating, washroom facility, clean facility, so you can enjoy health in a respectable and dignified facility. These are the things that we are investing in also. But we also know the specific issues that you are concerned about in your community. So for example, I know that in Gangaram, for example, you have the water challenges. The quality of water is a major issue for you in Gangaram. Isn't that true? That is why next week they're starting a project to connect the water, treated water, from Canefield to Gangaram. That's a project of $120 million to bring treated water to the residents in Gangaram. We also know that one of the big issues is that of drainage. Drainage in the community areas, but importantly also drainage in the agriculture area like New Forest. Anybody here from New Forest? And you have drainage issues, right? So you have about, I think, about 60 farmers in New Forest. So what we've decided to do is that we will deploy a machine to New Forest and these areas, not only to do the drainage, but to give every farmer, to help every farmer clear at least 5 acres of land to go into production. To clear at least 5 acres of land and put in the drainage and irrigation for those lands. And we expect that within 3 weeks, this project will start for our farmers in in New Forest area, whilst we'll have a machine looking at all the other drainage issues that you have in these communities. When the Vice President was here, across the region, people also raised the issue with community street lights and street lights for the highway. Isn't that true? Well, we are launching a national program. We are going to put street lights on every single pole in every single street, on every single highway. One of the problems is the delays in shipping. And now we only have to start about 7,000 of those lights that we have already procured. But that project will continue, and we're procuring hundreds of thousands of lights to go all across our country, because this helps with security also. As part of the Safe Country project, we're expanding the camera system outside of Georgetown, and Region 6 will be one of those areas that will have cameras installed to enhance security and improve security. These are the real things that we are doing. Now, the speeding ticket, the electronic speeding ticket, is not meant to make life hard for you. It's not meant for you to pay a ticket. It's meant for you to respect the law, respect your life, and respect other people's life by driving carefully. That is what those cameras are for. These are the things that we are doing. So we want you to also participate. That is why we are saying, all the young people here with at least 3 subjects CXC, we want you to join the nursing program. We are looking for people. We will give you a stipend whilst you're trained. And when you're finished your training, you have a guaranteed job. And the starting salary for that job now is almost $170,000. More than what you will get as a teller in a bank. Make use of these opportunities. These are opportunities people around the world are dying for. And if you don't have the qualification, but you have a strong secondary education, we want you to come in the upskilling program so we can help you. And once you succeed in that program, we will take you on the program to become nursing aide, nursing assistant, and patient care assistant. That is what we're doing, creating opportunities for our people, because the economy will need our people. And we know also in these communities, many people are doing small businesses. And one of the things we want to do in the next 6 to 8 months, when we prepare the next budget, is to have a business development fund that will target small and medium enterprises. But we want to help you to develop these businesses that are sustainable, these businesses that are resilient, and make sure that these businesses are integrated into the economy. And in your community, there are some specific targets that we have to identify. The single mothers, the single-led households. That is why I've given the Ministry of Agriculture instruction 2 days ago that we're going to take 50 acres of land. We're going to develop that land. We're going to put in the hydroponic system, and we're going to work on enabling 500 families to have access to that land to produce and to produce things that we are going to create the market for. Right here in your community. We hope that whilst we do this 50 acres as an experiment, we'll expand it to 100 acres, so we're creating 500 new small enterprises for these communities. We want you to be able to be empowered at your disposable income. Outside of this, so that's the 5 acres that we're going to clear in New Forest. Then we have this program that we're going to launch for the farmers. And then, of course, we want to see how we can support in aquaculture. I've asked the Ministry of Agriculture to do a pilot study to see whether the fish cage can work here We have implemented the fish cage in other communities with fresh water, and they're making money. They're making a lot of money out of the cages using tambaki, growing tambaki and other type of fish. So we're going to have the Ministry of Agriculture examine the possibilities for these areas. And once you are interested and the possibilities are there, we will work with you on creating the opportunities with the fish cages to bring more income into the community. And we have about 80 to 100 fisher folk, right? How many fisher folk we have in the community? About 80. And we have been listening to you on ways in which we can further empower you. That is why we are now going to work with you to develop, in the first instance, 100 acres of swampland for you to be part of the Swamp Shrimp Project. We're going to put the capital and the machinery in. These are tens of millions of dollars of investment that we are going to make to catalyze opportunities, to bring opportunities, to create new areas of growth, new areas of wealth, because that is what we are about. I just see Kesh there. He will tell you that part of the plan that we have is to extend the electric grid and network. We have awarded the contract for Region 6. How much is that? $422 million. That will see, US, sorry. $422 million US dollars. That will see 2 new substations, international contractors coming in, because what we are going to do here will require efficient, reliable energy, and that is what you're going to get. Not only cutting the energy cost by half, but giving you efficient and reliable energy. That is what we are about in the People's Progressive Party civic government. And the investment that we are making in a municipal airport will open up tremendous opportunities, business opportunities here for you. The new gas to shore project will create thousands of jobs. The building of the new manufacturing and industrial hub, agro-processing facility, and all of this is linked in to the ease of transportation with a new 4-lane road from New Amsterdam to Mulson Creek. The 4-lane road, 4-lane bridge over the Berbice River that will be free of cost, and the bridge that will connect Guyana and Suriname. All of these, including the municipal airport, will be part of this transformative agenda, this transformative strategy that we have for you. So I'm not only here to tell you about all that we have done. We have a very clear vision as to where Berbice will be, where Region 6 will be. The new stadium, hotels already approved to be built there, new hospitals, mall, the national art, the national cultural market, the National Training Center will be an international center, the oil and gas center, that will bring students from all around the world to be trained here. That facility that you see there is an investment of over 120 million US dollars. The new hospitality and training school that we're going to build in Berbice, that your children can have the highest qualification in tourism and hospitality right here in a world-class institute that we are building. This is the future we are talking about. This is what we're talking about. Building, not tomorrow, building 2030 and beyond tomorrow. Creating the opportunity. You know, when we talk about the exciting future of Guyana, people in the international community, they will say, how will you do all of this in 5 years? I told them we have to convert 5 years into 10 years without tampering with the Constitution. That means we have to work 24 hours to make 5 years, 10 years to get all of these things done. And we are ready to do it. We are committed to do it. So my friends, a lot would have been said already. But as I said, we can point to specific initiatives in every single area. I've outlined some of the specific initiatives that we're going to pursue here. But in every area in this country, we can point directly the money that was transferred to you. The 2,200 households. Not only the grant, but in education, in Rose Hall, in the last 4 years, we have spent $236 million. $214 million transferred directly to your children under the Because We Care grant. The National School Grant, $13 million. The maintenance of school and school facilities, almost $10 million. Almost $500 million in human services. The Ministry of Agriculture investing almost $15 million. And that is not taking into consideration what they do in drainage and irrigation and the return of the jobs at Rose Hall Estate. Isn't this enough to demonstrate to you that you can trust us, that you can rely on us? We are not seasonal friends. We are not fair weather friends. We are friends who you can rely on in every season, under any condition. And we have accomplished all of this with 2 years of COVID, 2 massive floods, the destabilization that they tried, a drought season, the world highest cost for fuel, the highest transportation costs in the world, and the highest energy costs and food prices in the world. We have accomplished all of this under these national, regional, and global conditions. We didn't complain. We embraced the challenges and deliver to you, the people of Region 6, the people of Rose Hall, and the people of Guyana. So my friends, I don't think I need to go on. I just want you to know that you can rely on us. We will be here every single day of the year to ensure that your lives, your livelihood, your future, and your prosperity is realized. That is what concerns us. That is what we worry about. We don't worry about people running around the place. We worry about the next set of initiatives that are necessary to make life easier and better for the people of our country. So now, as we have done and will continue to do, we want to hear from you also. We want your ideas. We want to know what you appreciate and some of the things that you think we should look at as we build out the next phase of development. And like all our outreaches today, we have representatives from every sector. NIS. And I didn't even tell you about all the things we did to surpass the manifesto. We are now paying for 8 subjects CXC for every single child. We have listened, and also CAPE exam. Up to 8 subjects for CAPE exam. We are paying the complete fee. We have transferred almost $3 billion to ensure that our rice farmers get $4,000 per bag. And yesterday, we have given an additional $2 billion so that every farmer will receive 1 bag of fertilizer per acre of land. We have transferred $10 billion to NIS for those persons who did not meet the contribution, from 500 to 749 contribution, so you can have a one-off cash grant, cash payment. So my friends, as I close to listen to you, all the people with personal problems, NIS, housing, water, land, police, all the issues, DNI, we have an entire team. Where is the team? Look, the team is over there. So all those issues, you will go directly to them. All the community issues, you will come to this mic and you will let us know. All right? Thank you very much and God bless all of you.